Lotion is a must. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 10 things I wish I knew before moving to Arizona. So before we get started with this, guys, I want to give a shout out to some new Patreon members. And if you guys don't know, I do have a Patreon account, and if you subscribe, then you will be featured in my Patreon shout outs. So Joshua Patterson, Jason Evitz, Joe Lagan, Ned Hedrick, W.L. Larson, Jason, and Jim. Thank you guys so much for supporting me on Patreon. I hope you're really enjoying all of my content over there, and I hope to keep making you guys happy. I also wanted to begin with a quick disclaimer. Now, in this video, I in no way mean to come off as complaining or talking down about Arizona whatsoever. I absolutely love living in this state. I'm so grateful to live here and to have found this beautiful state of Arizona. So I just really want you guys to know that I'm not trying to complain or talk down about this state in any way, shape, or form. So let's get into the first thing that I wish I knew before moving here. So garages are definitely a necessity, and they're mainly important because the sun is so intense out here, guys. It will just bake your car and just deteriorate it like that. It's crazy how powerful the sun is out here. It also just takes so much longer to cool your car down once you get it started and, get the AC going. So garages are definitely a necessity because they keep your car cooler than if you were to just park in the open sun. So one of the things I make sure I find whenever I'm going anywhere is I just try to find a shaded parking spot, because it really makes so much difference having a little bit of shade over your car rather than parking in direct sunlight. Because, your car heats up, it heats up everything inside of your car. So before your car can start cooling down, it has to cool down all of the vents and, the interior parts of your car that are like 90 degrees. So garages are a necessity. Also, they help with dust storms. We get a lot of dust storms in the part of Arizona where I live, which is still considered the Phoenix metro area, but I'm in the East Valley and I'm closer to like the open desert areas. So we get a lot of dust storms and wind, and there's not a lot of buildings to hold back all of that dust. So try to make sure you can get a garage or any type of covered parking if you're thinking of moving out here. Now, one thing I will add to that is I've been living out in my new apartment now for about 3 months, and it's just crazy because I don't have covered parking here. Well, I do have covered parking, but sometimes the covered spots are all taken, so I have to park in an open spot, and I've already noticed that the clear coat on my car is peeling up in multiple different places, and it's just starting to make my car kind of look like a hoopty. And it makes me kind of sad, but that's just a fact of living out here, and it's also an older car. So yes, guys, try your hardest to park in shade or in a garage if you can. So that brings me into my next topic. The drivers out here are like no other. And guys, I've traveled a lot in my 23 years of life. I've been to many different states and cities, and I have to say that Arizona has some of the most competitive and road rager drivers. And there's, most of the time it's from people that you least expect to drive that way. I remember a couple years ago, this lady came up behind me, and it's like, it was traumatic for me, so I remember everything, but this lady came up behind me in a white SUV, and she literally came out from behind me, went up, and then cut me off, and she was going she had to have been going 85. Guys, I'm not a slow driver. I'm actually a really good driver, and I can say that confidently. But yes, the drivers out here are a different breed, and I think it's mainly because there's a lot of different driving styles, since a lot of the people that live out here aren't from here. So they kind of bring their driving styles with them when they move here. That brings me into my next thing that I wish I knew, and that is the fact that a lot of people that live here are not from here. Arizona is a very popular destination for retirees and just people who like to travel, or even people who like a more slow-paced lifestyle. So that's one of the things I've noticed since living here for a couple years, is that a lot of the people that I encounter are from different states. You know, Illinois and Colorado and California are some of the really popular states where some people like to move from to Arizona. Number 4, it stays hot all throughout the day and the night during the summertime. So that was something I needed to get used to as well. Coming from Maryland, you know, once the sun goes down, even in the summer, it gets really cool. And there's a nice breeze usually at night, and, you know, it just cools down, and there's dew on the grass. But since it's really dry out here, and there's just a valley, like everything's located inside of a valley, all of that warm, hot air kind of just lingers. So that causes the nights to be hot just like the days. It does cool down a little bit during nighttime, but not much, especially when it's in the middle of summer like right now. So number 5, the LGBT community is not very big out here. Now, when I say that, it is big, and you can definitely meet people out here pretty easily. But one of the things I've noticed is that because there aren't a lot of LGBT bars out here, a lot of the community tends to go to the same places. So you might see somebody on a night out with friends that you might not want to see, which has happened to me, and you just kind of have to deal with that and, you know, keep it moving. But there's only like 4 or 5 bars around here that the community likes to congregate at. So you tend to see a lot of the same faces, and things get around pretty quickly, especially if you tell them to the wrong person. Other than that, I have no issue with the LGBT community here. I've met so many great friends, and I've had so many great experiences that I'll hold on to for the rest of my life. And I don't think I would have ever had some of those same experiences if I were to stay back in Maryland. So I'm grateful for the LGBT community here in Phoenix. So number 6, one of the things I realized after moving here, after living here for about a year, I would say, is that your friends back home do grow distant. No matter how close you were with them, it's just kind of inevitable, especially when you're living 2,500 miles away from your hometown where they are still at. So that can be kind of difficult at first, but, you know, people come and go out of your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and that's just the way life goes. You're always going to have people coming in and out of your life, but it's the real friends that stick around. And I still have some real friends back home in Maryland, which I'm really grateful for, and I still talk to them, not regularly, but, you know, we check up on each other, and yeah, I just think, you know, it's unfortunate at first when you realize that things aren't the same they were when you were in high school, but you just have to remember that better things are coming for you. Number 7, the water here is very hard. And I grew up in a house that had a well, so the water was still kind of hard. It had lots of minerals in it, and it was kind of, you know, just like thick, hard water. But we had a water softener, which helped a lot. You know, but we still got water spots on the dishes and stuff like that, and I can remember that. But out here, guys, I have to use lotion every time I take a shower because I get such dry skin, like on my elbows, my knees. My skin just starts to feel really flaky if I don't use lotion after the shower, and I never had to do that back in Maryland. I think a large reason for that was because, you know, it was much more humid in Maryland than it is here. So I think the moisture in the air helped out a lot with moisturizing my skin. But out here, I can't go without lotion or else, you know, I'm going to be flaking away. So the water's really hard here. I'm not sure how it is if you own a house and you can kind of choose, the consistency of your water. But I've only lived in apartments, so that's the only experience that I've had living out here. And yes, the water is very hard, but it's not a bad thing. I can't think of any other bad reason for the water being hard other than just having dry skin. So lotion is a must. Number 8, it always rains the day after you wash your car. It never seems to fail. I might just have bad luck when it comes to that, but it seems like every time I wash my car, and I usually let it go for a little bit. I'm not one of those people that has to wash their car once a week, which, no shame in that either, but I usually wash my car like once a month, and every time I wash it, it's like 1 or 2 days after, usually 1, it rains the next day, or I park somewhere and there's a sprinkler and I come out to my car the next morning and there's water spots all over my car. It just never ceases to amaze me. And another thing with when it rains here, because sometimes if it rains on your car, that's no problem. I don't think it was ever a problem back in Maryland, but here, because there's so much dust in the air, the rain is kind of like dirty, so it leaves dirt spots on your glass, on your paint, depending on what color your car is. So that comes hand in hand with having covered parking in a garage. So those that have a garage don't have to worry about that. Me, on the other hand, gotta worry about that until I get my house. Okay guys, number 9. One thing I realized after moving out here in 2016 is that everything is very central. So you can get pretty much anywhere in the valley in the Phoenix metro area in under an hour. And I think that's just awesome because sometimes I do have to run up to Phoenix or Scottsdale to do errands or go to appointments and stuff like that, or go to like a photography store that I want to check out, stuff like that. And it just makes it very easy to get there and stress-free. So you can hop on pretty much any highway and get anywhere in the valley in under an hour. And I think that's cool. One of the things I've noticed though recently is that there is a lot more traffic on the roads, guys. There is so many people moving to Arizona, so many, and it's obvious. It's like you can't escape it now. I was just going somewhere on Sunday, and it was like noon on a Sunday, and I was in stop and go traffic, and that's never happened. I was going up to Phoenix to get my haircut. Do you guys like it, by the way? Do you like my haircut? I hope so. I like it. But yeah, that really blew my mind. Like, wow. Is Phoenix the next LA? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. So number 10, the final thing I wish I knew before moving here to Arizona. And that is that I would not be finishing college. At least when I thought I would be finishing. I've talked to you guys in the past about my plans to go back to college, and I'm still working on that right now. It's not on the top of my priority list, but it's like in the top 5. I just want some of you guys to know, especially those who keep asking me about my plans to go back to college. It's in my head. It's gonna happen. It's just not right for me right now, if that makes sense. So I'm working on so many different business ventures, and I have so many opportunities right now that it's almost a little overwhelming, but I'm not complaining at all. I'm so grateful for the way my stars are aligning right now in my life, and I just don't want to feel bad for myself anymore. Like, I don't think that's productive at all, and I don't want to be around people either who are always like complaining and like not doing anything to make their life better. Yes, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you thought about it in the comments. If you live in Arizona, let me know some things that you wish you knew before moving here. I'd love to hear about them. Check out my OnlyFans, check out my Patreon, and send me an email if you want to get to know me better. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye, guys.